Well, welcome to Imola, everyone. Back here with Division 3 and DTR. And what looks like a very overcast track. And from memory, I think we had quite a lot of rain last week. So I'm convinced that the drivers will want to avoid rain again today. Got a couple of drivers that I think are new. Chris Bridden, haven't seen you before, so welcome if you just joined. Sorry if I've missed you and you have been here before. But is it Bob Spun that's going to take us round Imola? It is, he's in the Alpine. So let me get my menu set up and then we will watch him round the Imola lap and then we'll catch up with all the other drivers that are on their fast lap. So I've got told that from last week, our winner was Ill Vision, apparently his name is. So I just realised I went at a party, so every single driver would have been able to hear me there. So I've just got out of it. But anyway, we're on board with Bob Spun. He's coming through turn 3 now, clearing the traffic, and we've come up to another chicane, turn 4 and 5. Quite high speed, and then a little blast down to sharp hairpin. And then again, got to be careful on the traction out there. We'll go purple, this is the first car round. And then a fast left hand, which goes immediately into another left-hander, down the hill, a sharp right-hander into a chicane, pretty tight, got to keep the car balanced. Don't be too aggressive on the throttle or you lose it. But the traction much better on this game anyway. And then again, another chicane you've got to slow down for. You can ride those curbs. Bob's been very cautious with those curbs. But you will see other people flying over them. But now he's on the run down in sector 3 to the final couple of corners and the final blast to the line. So 2 90-degree bends to finish. Get your foot down, the DRS will open and you're over the line. And it starts with a 1:16.5, which is not a bad time. What about Haywood? He's on his way down the hill in the Mercedes. From memory, he had a good race the last time out, or a good result anyway. As he comes through to the chicane, does he take a bit of curb? No, he's quite cautious. Lakatzis puts in a 16.4 and goes provisional pole for now. We've got a car on the right hand side. That's another Alpine. Who's the other Alpine? Reeks out, disqualified. No idea why. Completely missed it. But Haywood coming around to finish his job. Nerdy puts in a 1:17.3. We'll want to improve on that after I would say a successful Australia. And there we go, Haywood on pole now, 16.2. Alright, Jordan again, he had a pretty good race in Australia. He comes over the line, 15.4. Wow, that's a lot quicker than the rest of the field so far. So benchmark has been put down. Brandon, one of the favourites for the title, and he does use the curbing on the inside. That's good drive. Here he comes now, down the hill in the other Mercedes. As Bob puts in a 16.6. Probably Bob's favourite track, this one. Says he's really quick round here. As Brandon goes pole now, 15.3. Is that a bit of rain? No, it might just be my eyesight. A couple of other cars out. Ill Vision, last week's winner. Apparently going purple in sector 2. He took that neatly, carried a lot of speed in. And the Aston Martin, see him flying down the hill. Lumping on the brakes. Keeping as much momentum around these corners as you can. Use all the exit. Get your foot down to the line, cut as much of the corner as you can, and he goes pole, 15.2. So a couple of people already laying a marker down. Who have we got on an outlap? Guna. In fact, actually, let's watch Chris, who's just behind Guna on track. He's on an outlap. But yeah, welcome to DTR. And we'll see what racecraft you've got, as Jago goes into 5th for now with a 16.2. And just while we wait for Chris to get round, because I don't think there's anyone else currently on our hot lap. I think everyone else has put one in. Redditt's put in a 15.5. He snuck in there, didn't see that come in. So Ill Vision won last week. Little Mikey came in 2nd. He's here today. He's on his outlap, so we'll try and catch him in a moment. Hayward came 3rd. Guna 4th, who was really unlucky actually. He got a safety car at the wrong time. He was leading the race comfortably, and the safety car picked him up. Everyone else could pit because they were before the pit line. And yeah, the Deltas just didn't help him. But anyway, Connor Habit looks like he started a lap. Guna will be starting a lap, and now Chris is on a lap with his DRS open, flying down the start straight as he's got some traffic already coming out of the pits. They stay out of the way. Gets nice and wide into turn 1. Carries momentum through turn 2 and 3. And again, using pretty much all of the track. How much pace does he dare to carry through here? And he gets as far left as possible, as Evan has left the session. So we'll probably see him come back. And this has been a very neat sector 1 from Chris so far. We'll see where he comes out pace-wise. It's not looked too bad. And just look at the pace he's carrying through that corner. Again, using all of the track available. Floors it in 4th up the hill. And now into the heavy braking zone. Does he use the curbs? Still quite cautious. Everyone just wants to get their banker lap in. I'm sure we'll see some cars throwing it over them later. But where is Chris going to qualify? 2 laps, 2 corners, not laps. Be a long qualifying, that would. 2 corners to go. As Guna puts it on provisional pole, 15.0. Can Chris match it? He's in 6th. Good opening lap from him, a 15.5. What about Mikey? Pole sitter from last week. Last 2 corners. Again, carrying some good speed. Using all the track. He's definitely improved since last season, and he's up into 4th, so he's going to be a challenger again this week. What about Nerdy? We haven't seen anything from him today. He's on, coming down into turn 5 and 6, sweeps it through, misses the apex slightly, but again, as long as you carry the speed through, you're good. And apparently he's purple in sector 1. So he was nervous about coming into Division 3. He didn't think he had the pace for it, and he has shown it in his last couple of weeks for sure. So he's not doing himself any justice whatsoever. He deserves to be it. He can challenge. We're about to see what he can do. Moving into sector 2. Apparently gone purple again. Sometimes these... Oh, he takes the 2nd curve. I think you want to take more of the 1st curve, really. But again, it's still neat. So, I reckon this is 1.8 up. That's not enough of pole. So, I think the purple things at the bottom might be playing tricks. Nevertheless, it's going to be a good time. It's not going to be pole, though. He's 6th, 15.5. So, a good lap from Nerdy. Again, sitting in the top 10 currently. What about Bog? He's just starting a flyer in the Red Bull. Normally the Haas team, but decided for a change of scenery. Following the footsteps of his hero, Max Verstappen. It's been an aggressive lap so far. Certainly trying to throw the car through the corners. On his way down to the tricky chicane. Takes it lovely. Carries the momentum through. And again, let's see if he takes any curb. Does. Takes the first one. That's pretty much how you want to take it. He's got on the throttle nice and early. So I think he's going to improve on 16th here. Can he break into the top 10? That's probably a big ask. Oh, gets a little bit too close to that curb. But it's still looking like a pretty good lap. And he's 11th, and actually only 4/10 away from the top 10. And interestingly, Nell with the 1:16 spot on the nose. He's going to want to improve on that. Again, he's one of the title contenders. Diego's 6/10 up. He's currently 14th. That's about 10th place. It goes 5th, so it was actually an 8/10 improvement. So Diego on his second race in Division 3, showing that he deserves to be here. What about Hackett on his second run? He's in the Williams and on the way down the hill. Gives it the final blast down the pit straight over the line. He does improve, but it's only enough for 15th for now. Bob has finished his lap. What about Relliot? He's on his way in. We'll try and catch Relliot's last run, so we haven't seen much of him. Brandon's improving. 2/10 improvement. So he's about on par with Gunnar. So has he got time to find in the third sector? I mean, that's all looked very clean. So if he did have time to find it, he's found it. And he's going to come over the line now. Will it be enough for pole? It will. It's a 14.8. That's a big marker. And that's even looking at people like Jordan, Nerdy. That's going to be tough to catch. That's 7/10 they've got to find from somewhere. What about Connor? Is he on a lap? Haven't watched him yet today. He's in the McLaren. Here he comes down into the chicane and I think he just rode that sausage curve on the left a little bit, which if you get too far on it, you bottom out on it and you just skate along it, grind it basically, and you just can't turn the car in it. That's what looked like happened to him there. As Berserk does improve above Connor with a 16.9. And Connor's just coming around these final two corners now, making his way down the pit straight. Can he find his way into the top 15? He can. He's in 12th with a 15.9, just ahead of Bog. And yeah, I think quite a lot of work to do for a few of these drivers. Let's look at Ill Vision, who seems to be out and 3/10 better off. So that's going to be close to Brandon. What we'll see from him as he comes across the line. It's going to be close. It is. It's a 14.7. So Ill Vision carrying on a strong start from Australia. Good lap. Berserk is in, so we need to pick up one of these guys on an out lap. We've seen a bit of Nerdy. We haven't seen anything of Lacatsis yet. We haven't seen Nellboy, who we think should be a title contender. So let's watch him on his next lap. Actually, let's go to Jordan. Jordan's on a lap, I believe. Let's just check his ERS. Yeah, it's not flashing, so here we go. With the amount of speed he's carried through there, it's incredible. He gets the car turned in. Maybe turned a bit better than he was expecting. Just have to be careful not to slide the car out through the hairpin there. Car's getting out of the way for him. Again, carries nice speed through there. Maybe could have got a bit closer to the apex, but it's still good. He's carried enough speed. Now time to get on the brakes. Cut a bit of the chicane. Look at that. That's perfect. Now get on the throttle. Don't lose the rear end. Traction is tough around there. And to me, there looks like there's some improvement in this, but how much can he get up with those pole sitters? It's a big ask. But he can deliver it on his day. What's he got now? It's not going to be a pole, but it's a 15.1 and goes 4th. So that is a big improvement. What about Lacatsis? Let's come back to him. Oh, and he's just made a mistake through there. So I think he's given up. Relliot then. Let's watch you. We said we'd catch his last run. Goes left and right. Uses all the track. That's nice and aggressive. And Relliot is definitely someone that should be in the top 5 at least. He's improved so much over the last couple of seasons. You can just see how neat and tidy he is through some of these corners. Gets the car slowed down nicely. Just see the back end trying to snap on him, so he had to get out of the accelerator. Might have cost him a little bit of time, but it's still looking pretty quick. Chucking into the right hand, and now get it slowed down. Uses enough curb there, that's how you want to take it. Floors it up the hill. Now get back over to the left, open up the chicane, take the inside curb. Still quite conservative through there. Must be a little bit nervous about losing the back end of the car, but it was neat enough. We're going to come down the hill now into these last two corners. Carry as much speed as you can. Get the car rotated, get on the gas, and away you go. Open up the DRS as you go through the line. And then you come to the start-finish line. It's a 15-0. He's up there with his teammate. That's a great lap. And Nellboy managed to improve to 7th. And with a 15.3, so much better from him. I think he saved a set of soft tyres, which is very sensible. Is there anyone else that we think might be able to take pole? Guna, where are you? You are not on a lap currently. Nellboy is not on a lap. Diego. No, let's swatch the Katzis then. So he makes his way down into the fast chicane. Again, just probably getting a little bit wide there. Looks like it was on the sausage curb. Again, that can unsettle your car, and he comes to the chicane. How's he going to take it? Quite conservative again. A couple of these guys must have had some bad memories of losing out on that curb. I know I certainly did. But Diego puts it on pole. That's huge. With a 14.7. Why didn't I watch him? Sorry, Diego. But what a lap from you. A 14.7 on your second race in Division 3. Must be practicing hard. And the Cats is going into the pits, which makes it even worse. Sorry, Diego. It doesn't look like Haywood's improving. Guna's coming around a lap then. Come on then, Guna. What have you got? Yeah, his foot just looks planted the whole way through that section. Bog is done for the day in terms of qualifying. I think the only person, Ill Vision will have another lap, but I think Guna and Ill Vision, maybe Brandon as well, are the only ones that can dislodge. And I think Brandon is about to come over the line now, and he does. He goes on pole. It's a 14.6. Has Guna got enough in the tank here? It's looked like a very aggressive lap. He's looked pretty tidy. If there's anyone on this grid that knows how to win, it's Guna. Look at the speed he's carrying through there. Has he got enough? A 14.6 is what he's looking to beat. Not quite, but it's enough for second. It's a 14.7. Who else have we got? Is Reliot coming round? He's not improving on his time. What about Haywood? Nope, he's stopped. Connor, he's about to come over the line. He's improving half a second. Top 10 currently. 15.3. Mikey is out. Didn't see what happened to him. He might have just retired. Hackett looks like he's finished. Bob Spun has finished. Reliot then. He's 2 tenths up. I think he's backed out of it now. So I think that is going to be your order. So congratulations, Brandon. 14.6. Just pipping Guna. The 14.7. And Diego as well, with a great qualifying, up in 3rd. Ill Vision, our winner from last week, in 4th. Reliot in 5th. Jordan 6th. Haywood 7th. Chris, I think on debut, in 8th. Nellboy in 9th. And it's a long way back for him, but he will hang around in this race, promise you that. Connor in 10th. Little Mikey in 11th after a good Australia. Lacatz 12th. Nerdy in 13th. Bog 14th. Hackett 15th. Bobspin 16th, Berserk 17th, Evan 18th, and Reaps no time disqualified. I wonder if Evan is back in the lobby. I know he got, well, kicked out, I believe. So we'll see if he's managed to get back in. So just to remind you then, Brandon on pole, Gunnar in second, Diego in third, Ilvision fourth, Reliot fifth, Jordan sixth, Hayward in seventh, Chris in eighth, Nellboy in ninth. Connor Havoc makes up the top 10. I think Gunnar saved a set of softs. Looked like Chris, and I think Nell had the two further down the field. So there's a chance this is a medium soft race. But some of the guys near the back might want to take the hards on. See what happens with the safety cars. But it's going to be an interesting race. There's normally incidents here, especially in turn one. There's 20 cars all trying to take the same corner at once. So we'll try and keep an eye on what happens. Not too many overtaking spots around here, which leads to some interesting manoeuvres. But we'll see how we get on. Div 3, generally a clean division. So let's see how they do. Don't prove me wrong, boys. So the team's just setting up their cars for the race. We're picking their setup, picking what tyres they want to start on. And then we'll be ready to get started.
Here we go then, the formation lap gets underway here in Italy. The front runners on the grid will want a nice fast start, as the opening chicane can provide some overtaking potential. They'll be keen to avoid.
So just a reminder, we're on broadcast, and that's because of a glitch with the game at the moment, where if you get disqualified on the grid box, you're disqualified from the race. So to try and prevent that, I'm doing the formation laps in broadcast view. So the drivers will all be pretty much in the same temperature, but we have got a mix of strategies. We have seen some hard tyres and some medium tyres. I do think this track is quite hard on your tyres, so those people that were saving softs must be thinking late safety car, softs, and try and do some overtaking. But the grid are forming up. Hopefully we get a nice camera angle. It can sometimes be a bit odd here with the corner right where you're starting. That's not a bad view. The lights are coming on. It's 5 lights. Brandon to lead us away. How's he got off the line? It looks pretty good. I think Gunnar's got a good start on the inside. Why is it not giving me a better view? Gonna have to jump on board with Gunnar, who is behind. I wonder where Diego is in all this. He's about 10th back. We're looking back on some of the field. Gunnar and Diego are side by side. There's some contact. I'm not surprised. It was 3 wide. We've got a car going round at the back. That looks like Reliot. But on the whole, reasonably well behaved. Brandon comes through in front and has already got a second gap. Jägerbomb got through. Ilvision got through on Gunnar as well. So Gunnar has lost 2 places there. Jordan in 5th. Chris has made his way up to 6th. And a little Mikey up to 7th. Look at that. Hayward 8th. Nellboy 9th. Berserk in 10th. So Berserk's made up a fair few places as well. Hackett in 11th. Connor in 12th, Nerdy in 13th, Lacatsis 14th, Bog 15th, Evans 16th, Reeps in 17th, and Reliot and Bobspur must be the 2 that had the incident. Otherwise, it's been pretty clean so far. And we've got Ilvision on the back of Diego, sorry. And he's looking to make an overtake early on. Will he be using the slipstream down the straight? And a bit of ERS help as Bog gets past Lacatsis. And no surprises, Brandon comes through for the fastest lap of the race. And here we go, Ilvision gaining very, very quickly. Jägerbomb decides to defend the outside. Ilvision sweeps round. He's got the inside line. Diego has to yield there. And I think it's Gunnar looking to try and take advantage of Diego not getting into position. We've also got Jordan just behind. Looking back at this, as Nellboy's overtaking Joe a little bit further back. So these 4 cars all fighting for the same position. We've got Chris just behind as well. So it's 5 cars. Let's watch it from Chris's point of view. He's just having to back off a little bit there. There's no room to overtake here. And then behind him, little Mikey is second back. And you can see Chris looks like he's feeling racy in these early laps. but he knows he's got to wait for the perfect overtaking moment. Look at this. Nice and aggressive. He's got his overtake on. He's going to try it round the outside, which becomes the inside. They're still side by side out the chicane. They've been well behaved here so far. It's costing him a lot of time, but Chris trying to get the move done. He's still got the inside line and he's just ahead, I think. Oh, and Jordan's still fighting it. He's done very well up to this point. Now, who's going to get the better run? I wouldn't be surprised if Mikey benefits from this, because he's going to get the tow from both of them. Neither of them are getting towed because they're fighting each other. And here comes Mikey. Nope, Jordan's having another look at Chris. There's nowhere for Mikey to go here, so he's just going to have to be patient. He does. He backs out of it. And he's got Nellboy directly behind. He's just going to have to wait for something to happen with these two. You can't go 3 wide into turn 1, as you could see from the first lap. But look, there's now a bit of a bottleneck here, and that's because of the fighting between Chris and Jordan. Chris does get it done. It was nice and clean. We've got Guna, who is trying to make some time up on Diego, and he's losing a bit of distance to Ill Vision. So Guna's going to want to try and get this done as early as possible. And whilst we're watching, let me just have a look at the tyres, because there were different strategies. So trying to keep an eye on about 6 drivers here to see if we get any overtakes. Not likely to be any just yet, but Chris decided to prove me wrong on that and overtook through this chicane. Here comes Guna now, getting another slipstream down this little mini straight. Guna's having a look. It's just not quite there for him. He's probably going to wait. You'd think he'd wait for the DRS straight. Get a good exit out of here, and then it's all hands on deck to try and be there for turn 1. And look at the overspeed already. He's got the tow. He's got his ERS on. He pokes his head out, and you can just see the wind hit the front of his car and slow him down. But that's an easy pass for Guna. And let's move back a bit. Chris and Jordan fighting again into turn 1, and this time Jordan uses the outside to slingshot himself through. This is probably going to be a battle that goes on all race, and these 2 or 3 behind, and Chris has burnt all of his ERS that he's flashing, which is probably why he's been so quick so early on. But yeah, that's not a good position to be in. You don't want to have no battery whatsoever. There's no defense or attack for you now. So you need to think about maybe just sitting behind Jordan for a bit and recharging some of that. Yeah, you go. It's just about hanging on to the back of Guna. Guna's the first of the cars on the hard tyres, so it's not a surprise there's a bit of a gap out in front. Brandon's pulled just over 1.5 second lead on Ill Vision. Guna's dropping back slightly. It's now 2 seconds. Diego getting some slipstream as Nellboy is closing in on Mikey, getting ever closer, but Nellboy is a sensible driver. He will be looking to make this pass down the straight, and look at the exit there. It looked better than Mikey's, if I'm honest. Mikey has got DRS open, but here we go, Nellboy sweeping round what was the outside. It will become the inside, but the job's already done. Tuck him back in front, and Hackett looks like he's past Berserk, and Bob has got past Nerdy further down the field as well. So it's been a good battle so far. And oh look, did we see that? No, but Diego has got in front of Guna. That must have happened on the same lap I was looking at now at the same time. But Diego is back through, and these 2 guys are starting to be caught by this massive train of cars as Reliant gets past Reeps, is trying to recover his race. There's a massive train of cars all the way down to 9th place, but they're all just swapping positions. You get your DRS open, and then the next car in the front of the train becomes the windbreak for everyone else. So the front 2 or 3 are going to want to try and get as far down the road as possible. Right, Guna is going to have another look at Diego now. He's got the ERS on, just look at the speed difference. And he's already through. Is there any more action further back? We've got Chris struggling there, but no further position changes. We saw Nellboy get past Mikey a little bit earlier. Mikey just getting detached a little bit and is becoming under pressure from Hackett. He's not going to want to lose that group in front. As there's a car around, it's Nell. Oof, not sure what happened there. And he's picked a gap to get back through on We're racing again, I believe. Nellboy's got himself back underway. And something's happened up here as well. It looks like Jaego's gone. So Jaego's back in 5th. So completely missed that. I'm sure we'll hear about it. But this is... I mean, for Gunnar now... Oh, and look, Jordan's just reeled him back in. He was over a second. And that would have been good for Gunnar. He might have just been able to detach himself. But Jordan's just closed it back in. Jaego's still there. Chris in 6th. And Mikey back up into 7th. But again, under pressure from Joe now. And quite a big gap between him and the car in front. But Chris is all over the back of Jaego. And this is the 2 cars that have no ERS fighting each other. Look at the light flashing. So the 2 in front are going to hope as Chris just sweeps through there. And again, good clean racing. It has been very well behaved so far from what I've seen. Not sure what happened to Nell. But it's looked pretty well behaved. Jordan the one now trying to put some pressure on Gunnar. Still over half a second back. And you can see that Jordan has now dropped Chris, who I'm assuming is burning whatever ERS he still has, to try and catch up to this group, because he's now back within a second. And it's probably not a bad idea, because if you can get back in behind them and use the DRS to recharge it, then so be it. But it is hard work to get it back once you've lost it. It can leave you a bit vulnerable in attack and defence. As Gunnar and Jordan make their way back down the pit straight again. Chris a second back. Jaego's dropping back a bit now. He's a second away from Chris, so no more action on this lap. Has Joe got enough to get past Mikey? Probably not now. Not right now. And Berserk looks like he's on the back of Hackett. Oh, he gets a little snap. Too aggressive on the power. And Reliot looks like he wants to make a move on Reeps, and Reeps just covers him off. Reliot trying to recover his race as Bog and Connor. I think Connor might have had a bit of a moment, or maybe Bog just made a good move there. Just missed it. And here's the first penalty of the day. It goes to Jaego. 3 points for multiple warnings. Joe is probably the closest man on track. 3/10 away from Mikey. Both these drivers had a really good race. Both on the podium last week. And they're back on the back of Jaego. So Jaego seems to be dropping back rather than moving forward on the hard tyres. And really, Joe being stuck behind these two is hurting his race. Problem for Joe now is that Mikey also has DRS. He's topping out, but Jaego's got no ERS, and Mikey, you just see, makes a move around Jaego, good move. And Jaego's trying to attack back, and very untidy there, but gets away with it. If you hit those curbs, you can sometimes get spat out wherever they want to take you. But he's kept hold of the car, so again, only 7/10 really. 7/10 between all of these drivers. We've got Nell that's on the back of his teammate Bob. He's got Connor only 8/10 behind him, so can't imagine team orders will come into effect there, because you've got Lukatsis just 2/10 back, and Connor is under huge pressure. Not the place to overtake, but he's forced Connor into the mistake. And thank you very much. It would have been an incredible move, but now we've got Nell and Bob. Do we think there's going to be some team orders here? Not currently. Maybe on the pit straight. Maybe on the pit straight. But Bog is then going to want some help from Nell. Give me some slipstream down the straight so I don't become vulnerable to Lukatsis behind. he goes. As Jago and Hayward are having a bit of a fight further up. They're both out of ERS. Interestingly, right, so Hayward trying to make a move on Jago. Didn't make it stick. So we're still in the same position. Has Hayward, interestingly, if we can see the back of his car, has he got some ERS left? Well, he's got more than Jago, and there's just a bit of a snap there, so he's going to lose time for that. Doesn't want to lose DRS. Hackett's not far behind him. But Jago seems to be really struggling on those tyres. Meant to be the harder compound. Guna is caught right up to the back of Ill Vision. And he's taken Jordan along with him. So I wonder if these hard tyres are now in crossover mode. Guna is back in this race. But Brandon has opened up a 4-second lead out in front. The one man on track that does not want a safety car. And to be honest, there's not a lot of will-to-will action going on right now. Hayward and Jago are probably the only other two closer cars here, other than these three. And Guna really close to Ill Vision there, but just not enough to make a move. So they come round the windy section of Sector 1. Guna sort of fakes the move there, just lets Ill Vision know he's there. This can be an overtaking spot at times, but again, just not quite close enough. Needs a better driver. Hayward has now got past Jago. Does it through turn 3, on the exit of turn 3, I think. Obviously got better drive out of the corner. So Guna 3/10 back from Ill Vision, really putting the pressure on now, and Jordan's there to follow him. But he's also on the medium, so just wonder if Ill Vision is struggling a little bit more with tyre wear. Maybe Jordan's just benefiting from the toe that he's getting. Jago is keeping in touch with Joe. He's got 2 seconds to find little Mikey a bit further down the road. And Lakatsis is getting quite close to Bog here, 2/10 back. But we'll stick with this battle. Is Guna catching him? Yeah, he's going to get him this time. DRS and ERS, and he's gone flying past. So what about Jordan then? He's not close enough this time. I wonder if he got a bad exit out of that final corner. But what you'll want to do is keep Ill Vision. You can see that Guna's already starting to create a nice gap. But there you go, on the back of Joe. Joe using all of his ERS to try and keep ahead there. Lakatsis gets past Bog. Joe keeps the position. Both drivers' ERS light is flashing, and Hackett is just in the background, as you can see. As Joe turns and makes his way up the hill, Evan gets past Reeps. Jordan has managed to keep hold of the back of Ill Vision. And Guna nearly a second away, so those hard tyres are starting to come into their own now. They seem to be the faster tyre now. Boys recovered well, back up into 10th. 2 seconds away from Hackett, who's just at the back of this group here. So if Boy can catch, there's still something in this for him. Jordan is getting ever closer as Connor is the second driver to pick up a penalty for exceeding track limits. And I tell you what, Ill Vision has started to catch Guna again now. And I wonder if he's just burning some ERS to keep in that DRS activation zone. Because what that will be doing is opening up this gap to Chris. And then there's another gap back to Mikey. So seems to be pockets of drivers hanging around now. Jago is keeping to the back of Joe. And Hackett is just there in the background. And Boy is under 2 seconds away from this battle now. So he is getting closer and closer. Bog is hanging on to the back of Lakatsis as well. But let's just keep on this. Keep on the back of this here. And Chris is the third driver to pick up a penalty. Again, track limits. So Jordan or Ill Vision are the ones that are most likely to make a move on this lap. As Nerdy is very close to Evan and has now got past him. at the back of the field. I think Ill Vision is... no, I think Jordan's the most likely, but neither of them are going to catch. I wonder if they're both just... yeah, I think... are they saving battery? Yeah, I think they're saving some battery. I think they're using Guna to just recharge. Fight the battle again in a bit. And Hackett's dropping off the back of Diego, and Nellboy is getting ever closer. Another 4 tenths he's taken out of them now. So he's getting closer and closer to that battle, just in front. Has he got any ERS left to have a little attack? He might even get there this lap, you know. He's nearly within a second already. But look at Diego. Problem is, he's not harvesting very well. Look, he's still flashing. Reddit picks up some time penalties now. He must be pushing like mad to try and get back in the race. And yeah, that's not so good, because if you do get a late safety car, it just bunches the field up, and that costs you, as they're not side by side. The track was playing tricks with my eyes. Diego gets a little bit sideways. Ill Vision dropping back from Guna down that straight, or out of the last corner certainly anyway. So again, probably charging up his battery. Diego 2 tenths back. Oh, as Chris gets past Jordan, he's gone in the pits. So the first man to pit, and there is Joe going into the pits. Oh, we've got Nellboy on the back of Hackett, who's going to get the outside line into turn 1. What are these cameras about? And he's already made the move stick, and we've got our first couple of cars that are pitting. They must be coming in for hards if they're coming in this early. And there goes Nellboy after Diego, who again is flashing. Keep in mind that you've got Joe who's pitted, Jordan who's pitted. So technically this is 9th place. But anything can happen. If we get a safety car, then it's going to be a horrible pit stop for those guys that have just come in. But Diego just constantly driving with his overtake on. That light's been flashing since lap 1. But look at that, Ill Vision is now out of DRS of Guna. But is Ill Vision going to have to cover this pit stop off now? We're about to find out, because he's going around the last couple of corners. We'll see if the pit marker comes up against him. He might want to try and cover Joe off, and I think he is. Yeah, he's in. The only problem is, Joe... nah, he's got a nice gap. I thought he might have come out in traffic. He's got a nice gap. So Chris is in as well. Little Mikey is still out and promoted to 3rd. Yeah, going to 4th, and here goes Nell, sweeping around the outside. DRS is now flashing, and you know that Diego will be using all of it to try and keep up. So we're getting cars pitting now. It's changing the order, but I think they're all coming out into fresh air. Joe is the man to watch. How many of these cars is he going to get back past? Nerdy puts in the fastest lap of the race so far. So Joe is still behind Chris and Jordan and Ill Vision, but he was a long way back from them, so it's to be expected. Bog up in 6th currently, but again he's yet to pit, so not too much close action going on. Hackett probably the closest man on track. He's got Nerdy in front of him on 6 lap old medium tyres. Hackett has just pitted, so is there any pace difference? Can Hackett catch Nerdy? Brandon picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pits. He had a 5-second lead on the race, so he's got to hope for no safety car now, because that could cause him problems. Schooner, Mikey and Nellboy carry on, and Diego, who were all on the hard tyres at the start of the race. But look where Brandon's come out. He's popped out into a nice little gap there, and Ill Vision's got Bog in front of him. So that could slow him down, as Chris has already made his way past Connor. Here comes Hackett on Nerdy, flicks to the inside, and ooh, is there a bit of contact there? Nerdy runs a bit wide. Can imagine him shouting underneath his stairs. Leave me space. Ill vision all over the back of Bog. He's just got to be sensible here. Just wait for the right moment. And Bog is a moving roadblock, and look, he's just chucked it at the inside. It was a good clean move, to be fair. Bog, I think, did just get a poor exit out of there, and he saw an opportunity and took it. What about Jordan then? Can he make his way around Bog? There's Nell up in third, so he's actually doing his teammate big favour here, because he's slowing these cars down. But Nell is all over the back of Mikey, and he's gone round the outside into turn one. So big recovery from Nell. He's up into second. He hasn't pitted, that's why we've got a bit of a jumbled field. We've got Ill Vision now through and trying to get after Brandon. He's got a 5-second lead, but Brandon has a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pits. It's Ill Vision's connection, I think, is pretty bad. It's the only one that seems to be jumping around. Hopefully it's not my connection. Jordan is through on Bog, did it down the straight. He's got 4 seconds of breathing space to Chris behind him. So probably not far off time to pit for some of these hard runners. So be interesting to see. Like, you would imagine they're losing a bit of time right now to the fresh hards, but they will come back later in the race because they'll be on those fresh mediums. So the top 4 yet to pit. Bog, a man we're on board with, yet to pit. Reliant yet to pit. He's trying to recover his race. And these guys desperate for a safety car. If they get a safety car, they're in business. There's not too much going on really on track right now as Brandon puts in the fastest lap of the race. And Ill Vision actually goes and beats it. 5 seconds later. And he is gaining pretty fast. I think he's taken a 1.5 seconds out as Reliant and Connor are now in pitting. Joe makes his way back through. Hackett makes his way through. Quite a few people making their way back up. And I wonder if Nerdy is holding out for a soft finish. Must have pitted for maybe some damage, not sure. As Brandon is very close to Jaego. So maybe this is why Ill Vision is closing the gap, because Brandon's got a moving roadblock in front of him on those hard tyres. 18 laps old. And I think we will start to see these guys pit now. So Guna is going round to the pits now. Is he in? He is. I think he slowed down. He is. So he is in. We've got a Ferrari behind him. I think they must be getting lapped. So he's about to unlap himself. So he could do with a safety car. Here comes Nell. He carries on. Mikey carries on. Jaego in. Brandon through. And he is past Guna, who was in third at the time. But like I said, I think Guna would have been losing a bit of time there, but he's about to come out on fresh, softer compound tyres. And if you look, he's even lost out a little bit to Jordan. Lost nearly 4 seconds. He was ahead of him. He was ahead of him. But again, he's now got the tyre advantage. Has got to make it count. As Chris is looking to try and put some pressure on Guna, but surely with those nice fresh medium tyres, should just drive away really. As Relic gets past Reeks, not for the first time today. Berserk catching up to Jaego. I'm not sure how Berserk got to this position, because Jaego was up in 6th, I think. So 6th or 7th, and it's more that Jaego looks like he's dropped back a little bit. So probably a bit of a recovery from Berserk. Again, we've seen him a couple of times get a bit aggressive on the throttle, which is just moving the back end of the car. As Nellboy is now in the pit further up, so I wonder where Nell's going to come back out. Ill Vision He's not making any more inroads into that lead of Brandon. Now he's cleared Diego. Brandon is only 2 seconds back from Mikey. And Mikey's got a pit, so that's... I think Mikey's just hanging around for a safety car. And so is Bog. As Nelboy was in the pits, he comes back out in 10th. So reviving his race continues. He's back in the points. And this has sorted itself out a little bit. We've just got Bog in there, Bog and Mikey that haven't pitted yet. Bog and Mikey are desperate for that safety car. That would help them out massively and probably gain them a couple of positions. Brandon only a second behind Mikey now, and Mikey, I imagine, is losing so much time to these guys that are now pitted. Unless it's going for a hard soft, Bog's now picked up a 3-second time penalty. And Hayward is through on Bog. Bog defending quite hard, I think, to try and help his teammate maybe. Guna already catching the back of Jordan. He's taken a second and a half since I said it last. But Brandon on Mikey takes the inside line. Already through by turn 1. So Brandon now needs to get going and clear that 5-second time penalty. Already made 4 seconds of it up. And Bog is finally in. Mikey is not who we're on board with right now. It could be a stroke of genius if he gets a safety car, but again, the group behind him are just too close. I think at best he comes out in front of Nelboy if a safety car was to come out. But if he's going for the hard softs, fair play. He'll be very quick at the end. And to be honest, the amount of laps he's done, he might as well now. So put my money on that's what he's doing. Nerdy on the back of Hackett and in the points. So Nelboy's up to 8. Nerdy in 10th. Diego and his teammate just behind him. The 2 Division 4 boys from last season. Came down to a point at the end of the season for the championship. But look at Guna already. In fact, we're going to jump to him. Guna already on the back of Jordan. Look at the difference in these tyres. Taken about 3 or 4 seconds out of him already. So Guna up into 4th and coming after Ill Vision now. And then it'll all be about getting to within 5 seconds of Brandon on quicker tyres. So Mikey is going to be important to Brandon. And if he can hold these 2 up, that will be doing him a huge, huge favour. But let's just get back to... Let's watch it from Diego's point of view. Nerdy. So it's Diego, Nerdy and Hackett. Nerdy is flashing. He's used all his ERS. And I wouldn't be surprised if Diego was the same. He is. Some better ERS management needed, I think, from these 2 as Bog makes his way past Reaps. Guna already on the back of Ill Vision here. Don't feel like this is going to last too long. But the only problem is Ill Vision's going to get some DRS from Mikey. Guna's already dropping Jordan. And look at the exit that Guna's going to get here. And Diego is past Nerdy. Guna with the fastest lap of the race. That's going to send chills down the back of Brandon's neck as Ill Vision gets past Mikey. Now Mikey and Guna's going to want to get this done as quickly as possible, and he's got a good run out of turn 3 and he's going to get the inside line, and that's surely going to get done. Mikey can't defend it. And there's some blue flags and they get out of the way nicely. Probably a bit on the racing line, but he's not done a bad job. Jordan follows Guna through. No, he's still behind Mikey, sorry, actually. So he's got to get past him as soon as possible. Mikey really struggling now. Desperate for a safety car. Now he's looking at Diego. If the pit stop comes, Jordan just has to be patient. It's a pain in the arse. But he's just got to be patient. And it's probably now or down the pit straight. But I am going to just jump to Guna, who is pushing Ill Vision down the road. And Ill Vision's not going to have the luxury of DRS this time. And I think he's going to be a bit of a sitting duck for Guna here. Who I think might just be recharging the battery and letting ERS go do the work. He's going to go for the outside. He's side by side. But Ill Vision's just got the inside line covered. And it doesn't allow him through, as Mikey does come in for softs as expected. So what can he do on the soft tyre, and where's he going to come out? He's going to get overtaken by Jago. Looks like he could come out around about 13th here, maybe even a little bit further back. So he's got some work to do, but we'll keep an eye on him because he will make his way up the field. He's going to pop in front of Lakatsis by the look of it. He does. That's important. So he's down in 12th and got the fastest tyre. 7 laps. Can he get those 4 in front of him? I think is probably realistic. Because I think Nelbel might just be a bit too far down the road. But we're still here with Guna. And you've got to think, like, they're within 5 seconds of Brandon, so Guna could just use this time now to recharge a bit of battery. Nope, he's going. And he's through. He's into second. Bog picks up another 3 seconds. That's 6 now for him. Guna through. And now has just got to floor it and get out of DRS range of Ill Vision, and he's not far off doing that just through the first sector alone. So he's clearly quicker on these medium tyres compared to the hards. He's got the strategy bang on, and he's already 3 seconds away from Brandon. He doesn't even need to overtake him. So Guna looking good. Nelboy within a second of Joe wants that 6th place. Mikey already up to 11th. And in that pack, and in fact, let's see what happens between these two. But would like to go and watch Mikey because he's going to be far, far quicker than anyone else on track. Let's watch Nelboy and then we'll jump across to him. And if you want to learn how place an overtake, Nelboy is definitely the guy to watch. He was sitting and waiting. There's a little snap there from Joe, and that's going to give Nelboy all the momentum he needs as Mikey does get through on Nerdy. And then he's going to get some help against Hackett with DRS. So expect Mikey through and back into 9th place by the end of this straight. And then he's got a lonely Jaeger bomb to go after. Don't think he's quite going to catch Hackett yet. As Relic gets through on the Katsis, and look at the grip. Oh, I've never seen anyone take the outside line around there, but jeez, it's a good effort. Oh, and there's a bit of a snap there from Hackett. Mikey just got to be patient here. Be patient, and you've got 5 laps to go after Jago. But look at the grip difference. Is he going to chuck it down the inside here? He is going to chuck it down the inside. And both drivers behave themselves. It's going to have put Hackett in an awkward position because he's now going to have Nerdy all over the back of him. Because that is such a high-speed corner. He's probably going to have to have let off the accelerator there. And there's a couple of penalties there. I didn't see the first one. The second one went to Connor, who already had some penalties. And in fact, it's probably about that time to start showing them on screen to show the effects. So Guna currently is going to win this race based on the 5-second pit stop penalty that Brandon got for speeding in the pits. As we've got Nerdy putting some pressure on Hackett. Is he going to be close enough? I don't think so. Be a massive dive if he went for that. So sensibly tucks in behind. Nerdy having a strong start to his Division 3. He was in the points last week. Fighting for some points this week as there's a little battle going on just behind with Reliot and Berserk, and Reliot's fighting his way back, and you know he's not far away from a championship point. Can he sneak back in? And we'll keep an eye on that gap for Mikey's. He only needs to catch Diego by 4/10 because of the 6 seconds worth of penalties. So he's definitely got 8 from the cards. If Joe might be a big ask. So we'll watch the other AlphaTauri, and Brandon seems to be pulling out a little bit of a gap. He's got a second and a bit to find, and Guna's probably just preserving some of the tyre in case he needs it. But Nerdy only 8/10 away, but Reliot is 4/10, so we're going to see something here, and Reliot is coming for some championship points. Up into 12th now, down the inside of Berserk. Will come through into turn 1 in 12th place. He's got 3 seconds worth of penalties, so he'll have to get past Hackett and then 3 seconds down the road. And he's got Nerdy in his way as well, but he is catching him at the rate of knots. It's nearly less than a second already in a matter of 3 or 4 corners. So Reliot on the charge. If he plays this sensibly, definitely pick up some points. Nellboy has managed to catch the back of Chris. He's within a second as well. So there's a few battles going on. Nellboy has really caught Chris. He's gaining on him every. I think he might even get him before turn 1 here. Look at the speed difference. As Chris is clearly burning all of his ERS. Nell is going to go around the outside. It's going to be side by side. Chris is going to get the inside line. Was there a bit of a touch there? Not quite. Nellboy now trying to switch back. He's now alongside him. This is going to be an interesting corner. And neither driver pulls out of it. It's clean. Nellboy coming back round the outside. He's on the much grippier tyres. He's now going to get a better drive, and that is a brilliant move. It took 4 or 5 corners to sort it out. And I think Nell... Is he apologising there? Not really sure. He did a bit of weaving. But he gets the job done. As Reliot now putting some pressure on Nerdy. 1/10 behind him round that hairpin. And he's not going to try and move up the hill. That's for sure. It has just allowed Hackett to get a little bit further away from them, which is not good for Reliot. I think he's just going to end just outside the point, especially with a 3-second penalty, unless Hackett picks one up. But look at the gap at the front, 5/10 the difference. So Guna needs to push on this last lap, and they have started that last lap. Or have they? Have they got one more after this? Yeah, got one more after this. Oh, as there are some yellow flags. Why are they yellow flags? It's a McLaren. What has happened? What is going on here? Is it Mikey? What's happened to Mikey? Oh, wow. Something's happened to his wheel, I think. So that does promote Reliot into the top 10. Really unfortunate to whatever has happened to Mikey there. He's having a brilliant race on those softs at the end. I assume something has happened to his wheel. The ill vision now within a second of Guna. So those medium tyres are cooked. He's just got 1 lap to hold on to 4/10 of a second. And as they go over the line, we'll flick to them. In fact, I think they are over the line. So let's jump to them. Sorry, I'm going to miss maybe some overtaking action here. As there's Mikey, look, still trying to sort his car out. It's just not having it. So this is the man, the all-important man here then. He's the one that can snatch this victory off of Brandon. And he seems to be quick out of the corners. He's still within half a second. And Ill Vision, I think, is going to be lucky to catch and overtake. But if he does go for the overtake, that will hand Brandon the win for sure, because it will just cost them both too much time. Oh, what's happened to Gunnar? Has he run out of fuel? He's out of fuel. That's going to hand Brandon the win, unless he runs out of fuel. But it doesn't look like it. Ill Vision's got to push so hard. That's why Gunnar was starting to come off. And I think Reddit's done the same thing, because he's in 15th. People have underfueled. I think they were expecting safety cars, and there just wasn't. But Brandon comes over the line, and I think he's going to win. Ill Vision comes over in second. Can Gunnar hold on for third? Where's Jordan? Here he comes. He's going to get Gunnar. Oh, I'm Nell boy. What about Chris? Gunnar's just made it. So Chris then gets sixth. Oh, hits Gunnar. Joe over in 7th, Jaeger over in 8th. So really sorry, Brandon, didn't see you cross the line because there's just controversy behind you with no fuel. Hackett coming over the line. Squeaky bum time for him, but he comes in home in 9th in the end and picks up some points. Nerdy in the points. Oh, he's not going to be. Lacazette is going to nick it because of his penalties, Nerdy. What are you doing, boy? Could have been 2 points finishes in 2 races, but Berserk comes over the line. He's going to get caught by Bog because of penalties. So penalties costing people today. Then Connor in 14th. Reeps, I think he's had a bit of a struggle today. He's been down at the back, and Reliot is out of fuel. There comes Reeps. Reliot is out of fuel. Not going to sit and watch him. Oh well, we have to. Got to wait for him. Mikey DNF, the only DNF, and there was no real crashes, there was no safety car, and I think that's why we're seeing so many cars run out of fuel right at the end, and Gunnar will find himself deeply unlucky again. This time it was a mistake, and didn't make it all the way to the end of the race with the fuel that he had, and it's cost him a podium and a potential win. But that will be why Brandon was able to break off a bit of a gap, because Gunnar was happy to lift and coast. And here comes Reliot. Go on, boy. Over the line he goes. And to be fair, well done to the whole of Div 3 there. I'm not going to class Mikey as a proper DNF. So to have all 20 cars finish the race, that is brilliant. And some good driving there, and I'm sure from some of the drivers' points of view there will be some moments of disappointment, because there always is. You always have different people's points of view, but on the whole, from what I saw, it was good clean racing. And Brandon is on the top step once again, picks up 25 points. I didn't see who got fastest lap, but let's go and have a look now. So Brandon, with the 5-second penalty, holds on for first place. Ill Vision in second. Great start for him after winning last week. Jordan takes the podium. He's in third. Well done to Jordan. He had a solid race. Nelboy with a great recovery drive. And Gunnar, so unfortunate, 2 weeks in a row now. Run out of fuel this time, is in 5th. Chris, if this is his debut, it's a great debut. He's up in 6th. Joe in 7th. Jago with a good race as well. Just recently promoted from Division 4, so showing that he belongs here in Division 3. Hackett in 9th. Wasn't looking like he was going to get any points, but there was some controversy at the end that gave him 9th. And Lacazette in 10th. And Nerdy threw away some points because of his penalty. Bog up into 12th. Berserk 13th. Connor in 14th. Reeps with a bit of a tough day, 15th. Reliot, disappointing end to him after looking like he could get some points. Run out of fuel as well, 16th. Bob Spun 17th. Evan in 18th. Little Mikey, unfortunate to DNF at the end there. What a race. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I did. Some good racing in there. And we'll be back again next week for round 3. And I hope you join us then. Till then, goodbye for now.